Hello, my name is Joanna and I'm feeling crafty. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk all about sewing, maybe a little bit about bullet journaling. I will have some sewing tutorials. I teach sewing and sometimes I record a little lessons on my YouTube channel for my students, and yeah, just overall chit chat about life in general. I thought it would be the easiest for me to start off with my makes video. I've never done one of those before, so I'm not going to bore you with everything I have made in my life. I might just go through what I made in September. So as I mentioned, I teach sewing and I run a little crafting class on Wednesday evening, and it's the kind of class that you can just drop in once or twice or maybe a full month, and you just sit down and make a project in 2.5 hours and you finish it on that day. So they're usually small projects. So I was developing a class for pencil cases and I wanted them to be upcycled. So they were so much fun to make. I made about 10 of them. This is one of them. And I have a video tutorial on how to make them as well. So in the process of trying to work out the sizes and the method, I made a lot of them. They're great fun actually to make. They're quick, and I have a very neat way of finishing it on the inside where all the seams are enclosed. That's the word. I do stumble upon those sometimes. English isn't my first language, as you can tell by my accent, so if you can't understand me, this is why. Okay, so these pencil cases, I have a full collection of them, so if we're friends, guess what you're getting for Christmas. Oh yes, I should have started with what I'm wearing. Very unprofessional YouTubing, sewing, vlogging business on my part. So this is hot off the sewing machine. I finished that yesterday, and this is Fiber Mood Kika. But technically it's an October make, so I'll talk about it in my next month's vlog. I already cut another one. I love it, absolutely love it, but I'll tell you more about it in another video. So the pencil cases, and also I made those little sweater upcycled. I do a lot of upcycling. I'm very passionate about sustainability. We try to live I don't want to say zero waste, but a low waste lifestyle in my household. So we don't use anything disposable. I try to make as much as I can. So I try to teach that in my classes as well, to, because sewing doesn't have to be expensive. So upcycling is a great way to save money and make cute things. There's some scraps from previous projects, and I don't know about you, but I often get fabric or stuff from people just because they know I sew. I get given stuff. So I was given this sweater. It's actually 100% wool, and I was going to felt it, but and maybe make slippers out of it, but I used, this is the right side and this is the wrong side, just for added texture, and I made a bigger version as well. I'm not mad about those doodads. I need to work on them. This is a tutorial. I actually bought a pattern from Jenny Howell, I believe. I will link the tutorial to that in the description. It's very cute. So that's another thing I made in September. Again, this is one of my classes that I will run actually next week on Wednesday. Next up, it was actually a necessity. I started yoga classes this month, and in the classes that I go to, we use these belts and blocks, and the lady who runs it has a collection of them. But I decided I can make my own funky one, and this is it. I had these buckles in my stash, and I just pieced I had loads of scraps from making all those pencil cases. In my sewing classes, my students just come and have the project ready, cut out for them, ready to sew, so that we don't have to waste. I don't think it's the best use of their money to teach, for me to teach them how to cut stuff. You can figure that out yourself. At least for crafting bits, it's a bit different when you're dressmaking, but for most part it's just usually rectangular, so I don't think it's of benefit. So I cut stuff for them, and they come, have everything ready, they sit down with their sewing machine and just sew and relax, and it's a fantastic, lovely atmosphere. And then at the end of the class they have something they made themselves with their own hands. So anyway, so I had loads of offcuts of quilting cotton from we made some bags, like tote shopping bags, and these pencil cases. So I just used them all up and made them into a yoga belt. And how cool and funky is that? So what I have done, I just pieced 2-inch strips of fabric, different lengths. I then cut a strip of heavy canvas, cotton canvas, to sandwich. They need to be fairly strong for, you know, what you do in yoga classes. So I just felt quilting, 2 layers of quilting cotton might just not do it. So there's a strip of cotton canvas in between, and then I quilted the whole thing, as you can see, and it's very cute. So that was the first version, and it was just a little bit too narrow for the buckle. So I actually made another one. This actually is going to be a birthday gift for someone. So I made another one that's a little bit wider, and then I made a label which is a bit naughty. I don't know if you can see what it says. Do more yoga, give less bucks. Which I believe is 100% true. So this one is a bit wider, and it just fits the buckle I had a little better. So this was just a necessity. Next up was another one that was a necessity, and this is a hot water bottle belt strap situation. So I'll actually take out the hot water bottle because it'll be easier to show it. So this is it. It has a little velcro straps, and again, this is an upcycled project. I used a sweatshirt that I no longer wore to make this, just to make it a bit more cozy. It's nice because you're gonna strap it around your waist. I think I'm in perimenopause, and my cycles are getting a little challenging at the moment, so I needed a little bit of comfort, and this was that. So this was my sample. I used a lovely label from Rosie Jigs, I believe she's called. Now in hindsight, this was not the best fabric to use because it stretches a little bit, so it doesn't, it's a little bit too loose right now because it's stretched. But it's a fantastic idea. Not only if you're a menstruating woman, but also if you have back problems, which I do as well. You can strap your hot water bottle around your back. Like my lower back is problematic. So I made this one, and I have a 12-year-old daughter, and so I made another one for her, and this one is in just woven cotton, so no stretch to it. And I it was a little bit too big. She's very slim, tall and slim, so I the velcro placement is a little bit different on hers because she's tiny. And also I used my, I have my own kind of a neat way of finishing pillowcases. So it's as you can see on the inside, it's kind of lined and you can't see the raw edges. I just add another layer on the inside to kind of encase all of my seaming. So it's nice and neat on the inside as well. It doesn't make it reversible because the those back panels where you slide the hot water bottle, they're not lined, but still very neat. No one will know but me, and it makes me happy. So that is sorry, I have my bullet journal there where I have my notes. So that was my hot water bottle. This might be a class in November, I don't know, but I just needed one for myself. I think they're fantastic, so it might as well be a class. Now, a class I will be running tonight is going to be a patchwork pillowcase. So this is another sample that I made. It's patchworked and quilted on diagonal. We're actually going to patchwork squares in the class tonight, but you can patchwork in any way you want. And again, I have my own kind of a neat way of finishing the raw edges. I just add another layer of fabric, especially when I'm quilting things, because I don't want the batting to be exposed on the inside. So I just add another layer of fabric on the inside to encase all of the raw edges. And I absolutely love this. Now, what's so special about this pillow is that it goes on my new armchair. I don't know if you will identify with what I'm about to say. I'm a mom, I have 2 daughters, and I love them dearly. There's nothing I wouldn't do for my daughters, but I am a full-time mom, part-time sewing teacher, and few other jobs here and there, but my main and full-time job is my children, and I love it. But when the evening comes and we sit down and relax in front of the telly, I just want to be by myself. And like, we have these 2 big couches and people are always on top of me, and I'm slightly allergic in the evening. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I love my evening cuddles and all that, but like, I just, you know, when we're sitting and watching telly, I just want to relax. So I thought to myself, how can I avoid people being on top of me? So it took me 2 or 3 years to find the perfect armchair. I bought myself an armchair that's one of those, I think, bucket, I don't know, maybe not. It's kind of a narrow but tall, and it fits one person and one person only. I'm not the smallest of people, so there's just no chance of anyone sitting on top of me. And this pillow kind of supports my lower back and is absolutely pretty on the background of like a wine color velvet that the armchair is made of. If I can figure out how to do it, I might insert a picture of my lovely armchair. So So this is the story of this lovely cushion. I absolutely love it. And lastly, because you're probably here for some dressmaking, aren't you? I haven't done much dressmaking in September, but it was my husband's birthday last weekend, and we don't buy each other gifts anymore. We just do stuff together. And if pandemic taught us anything, is to just, you know, go out there and meet people. So I have organized a little dinner with some of our good friends, and we went to see a comedy show as well. So I thought, oh, this is just the best excuse to make a new dress. What I really wanted to make was this. Was this dress, the fiber mode Kika, because it's like a proper tent dress. It's massive, it's huge. I don't know if you can see this. It's very loosey-goosey, kind of an empire waist. So it's the kind of dress where you can have a starter, a main course, and order a dessert without feeling self-conscious. But unfortunately, I asked my husband's opinion when I was picking the pattern, and he picked, I'm sorry, just one sec, I'll grab the pattern envelope, and he picked this one. I was going to make it in kind of a satin finish viscose. That's what I picked for it, but he didn't like it. Well, he didn't say he didn't like it. He just liked this version, and because his imagination is very limited, he couldn't picture it in any other fabric. So I thought, you know what, it's his birthday, I might as well. I really like it myself. Not an October kind of a dress. It screams summer, so I wasn't like entirely happy about it, but I really like the dress, and so I said I will just do it. So this is she right here. It's a wrap front with this beautiful ruched kind of a overlay. Now the inside is flat. There is no ruching on the inside, and it has two, three, I think two pleats. Yes, two pleats on each side, and pockets, obviously. They're lovely pockets. They're the kind of pockets that you insert into the waist. Now this pattern, as you can see, comes with like a flutter sleeve and sleeveless. This is cotton, like a shirting cotton. So I didn't want to do the flutter sleeve because it wouldn't look nice. It wouldn't be flat, and I don't necessarily love my upper arms. I just feel more comfortable having a little bit of a sleeve. So I stole a sleeve from another pattern. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to grab it, which is this New Look 6808. I have made this pattern before, and because the bodice is fully lined, I wanted to be able to insert the sleeve fairly neatly. So this is why I went for this cap sleeve, because it doesn't have an underarm seam, if you know what I mean. So it kind of just is a cap is a cap sleeve, so it just goes it doesn't go into the side seam, which made it very easy then to insert it nice and neat. Now this isn't a difficult dress to make by any stretch of imagination. It's not a quick make because it's fully lined and there's a lot of darts and this and that. But other than that, it's not challenging at all. What challenged me was that it would have you have all the seams exposed, which made no sense in my head at all. Like if you have a fully lined bodice, one of the advantages is to be able to like have all the seams hidden. So this is my sleeve, as you can see on the inside. The it uses invisible zip, but then they would have the zip tape on top of both layers. I mean, like, who does that? Barbaric. Now, what was challenging about that, because I've concealed the zips in the lining before, and easy peasy lemon squeezy wouldn't really struggle with that at all. But what was challenging was the front bodice. Because it's a wrap, you can't just take, you know, like the lining layer, sew the skirt to the outside layer, and then tuck under the lining and tuck it to the waistline seam, which is what traditionally you would do because of the wrap and just the way things work. So I was trying, I was going crazy. I basted, unpicked, basted again and unpicked. There was a lot of unpicking because I couldn't figure out how to finish it neatly until I stumbled upon Lindsay from the hemline pattern review of this pattern. And what she did, which was totally genius, and I'm going to flip my dress inside out. And there you have it. So this is the front. Also, they wouldn't, there was no, what do you call it, understitching on the neckline. I mean, like, anyway, big four, huh? It's been a while since I've sewn with big four. Okay, so this is the front, okay? And that was the tricky part. So there is a lot of bulk in that seam. So what I did, I stitched it, I clipped the sides, and I stitched the skirt to the front bodice with all the layers, okay? And then I trimmed that seam, and then I stitched, sorry, before I trimmed, I stitched the single fold bias tape. So I made some bias tape, which is just single fold. So I stitched that to the waist seam, and then pressed it up, and then hand stitched the top of it to the lining, okay? So you see, I only did that on the front, and then on the back I did it the traditional way. I pressed under the lining, I stitched the skirt to the outer layer, and then the lining I just hand tacked in place. And what that allowed me to do then is to conceal my invisible zip. And I'm very happy with how that turned out. I didn't, I actually made the skirt first, so I didn't do any French seaming. I'm not opposed to overlocking my wovens, depending on the woven, because with like stable wovens like this cotton, I have no problem with that. But when you're fully lining a bodice, take advantage of it. So that's why this dress took me 3 days. The sizing, as always with Big Four, it was challenging. I am a UK size 16-ish, thereabouts. So I'm not, I would be curvy or plus size or whatever the definition is, but I would be on the lower end of that spectrum of, like, you know, fat spectrum. I have no problem with the word fat. If that offends you, I'm sorry, but I embrace it. So yes, I'm UK size 16, and then when I looked at the size chart, I was actually, for I think my waist measurement, I was actually outside the sizing. Well, as I mentioned, I'm slightly perimenopausal, so my waistline is living its own life at the moment. Anyway, so what I have done, my bust is I think 40 inches at the moment, so I went for size 18, which I took from the finished garment measurements printed on the pattern pieces. What a waste of my time to go and look for the information this way. So size 18 for my top and my bust, and then I graded to size 20 for the waist, and then for the skirt I actually did a size 22. It's the biggest size in the packet. I didn't really need it for my hip size, but I just wanted a fuller skirt. In hindsight, I could probably have done size 18 for my waist, because it is a little bit loose. It's not a huge deal because you have this sash. I thought the sash, when I looked at the pattern envelope, I thought the sash was stitched in the sides, but it's actually like separate piece. Because the version I did is pleated, because there's another version that's pretty much a half circle skirt, so that might look a little different, but in the version I made there is the pleats, so it has a little bit of gathering around the waist anyway, so I just cinched it. It's slightly too big, it's not huge, maybe half an inch or maybe an inch around my waist. So what I did, I just cinched that a little bit with the sash, and I love the way it looks. I don't think it's much of a party dress. Again, I made this particular dress to kind of, I wouldn't have picked this pattern for this occasion in this fabric. It's, for me, it's kind of a summery wearing with your trainers kind of a dress, so it's not really necessarily what I would have picked if I didn't ask for my husband's influence. But I'm actually happy he picked it, because I love this dress and I will wear it full stop. I will wear it. I was going to say in the summer, but I don't know. I might, you know, I'm not in a particularly cold climate. I live in Ireland, and I think you can wear that kind of a garment all year round, really. So, so this is all that I have made this month, and pretty pleased with myself. I knew this is going to be fairly easy if I just talk about sewing and not have to give you my life story or anything challenging. I can talk about sewing forever, as I'm sure can you. So thank you very much for stopping by and for checking out my channel. I hope to be consistent-ish and have something out for you every week, but don't hold me to it. I will try to record a plans video. I don't like to make plans. I'm very much on a whim kind of a sewist, unless it's for my classes, then those are the things I kind of have to do. But yeah, thank you very much, and consider subscribing, maybe liking, maybe give me some feedback. What did you think about this video? Can you understand me? Is my accent in any way understandable? That would be lovely, and I hope to see you the next time. I hope you find a little bit of time for sewing, and have a lovely day.